I've mentioned in the past how there's two major reasons why so many men today are giving up in society. And there's a third reason, a third major reason. And the two other reasons that I mentioned, I did a video on this that did pretty well for my channel. It's got like over 40,000 views. Is that men have lost their sense of place in the world. They lost their sense of purpose. And they're not being respected. Because they're the two of the major things that we fundamentally, generally need to do to thrive in this world, right? We need a sense of place, a sense of purpose, and we need to feel respected. And this third major reason is something that I've only really just fully come to terms with. I've kind of been wrestling with this idea for a little while, and I just think there's no real denying it anymore. When I talk to so many guys one-to-one and I see it, I see people and people that I know, and also online, and you see so many comments on videos talking about this problem with men and what's going on with men. And this third problem, this third major contributing factor is women are not worth it anymore. See this plane go. Maybe not the ideal place to do a video, right? Right next to an airport there on the beach, up here. Yeah, so a lot of guys are just not feeling like women, the juice ain't worth the squeeze. See, there's so much talk. There was a recent video on the Diary of the CEO that's picking up some attention, and there was this discussion around masculinity, why are boys struggling. Scott Galloway was on there. Another woman was on, I don't know her name. I know that seems like it's misogynistic, but I'm terrible with names. I only know Scott Galloway because I've watched multiple podcasts of him. Anyway, they both made some good points, but I don't know if they're fundamentally dancing around the reasons. Right, they're being purposely like obtuse, or they just don't understand it. I think it's the former, but I think it's not that difficult to understand, man. It's really not that difficult to really understand that why so many men are struggling. What's the real reason? Can we trace this back to like a key core thing? And it's simply the fact that you have the introduction of the birth control pill, and women have their freedom and we're able to enter the workforce. And sorry, when you get 50% of the population now into the workforce and that sexual liberation, you're only going to take away from men. It's just naturally it's going to happen, and we're going to struggle, and we're going to struggle to find a place and everything else. But this conversation, it was kind of driving me crazy, because again, it was all around, what have men got to do? What have men got to do that's better? Men have got to step up. Men have got to do this. Men have got to do that. And it's like there was one moment. I missed like the last 15 minutes, so I don't know if they touched on the last 15 minutes. If they did, my apologies on that. But they went like over 2.5 hours. They didn't get to the point where they didn't once say, what have women got to do? Because, and this is not for all women. I'm not speaking about all women. Jesus Christ, I don't even think I'm speaking about most women. I genuinely believe that most women out here in the West are good women. They're good people. They would make good partners. But there's no doubt there's so many men that have been burnt and hurt, and they're really suffering because of the behaviors and the choices of women. Just sit down here, change my position, get a bit windy. And I think a lot of guys are looking at a lot of modern women, and they're not, you're having to put in 10 times the work for less quality product than in the past. There used to be a time, right, women didn't have crazy high body counts. They were feminine. They wanted to be They wanted to look after their man. They wanted to, right, and take care of him and be in the home and wanted to raise kids and want to be good wives and mothers. And these days it's like neck tattoo, double digit body count, masculine, wants to wear their trousers, ball buster. And a lot of guys have had too many experiences with these women and they're giving up. And of course, when you give up and you just say, do you know what, these women ain't worth it anymore, where's your motivation to do anything else? Why would, because look around you, look around at everything built and everything's done. So much of it is driven by a motivation to find and be attractive towards women. So you take away a large chunk of feminine, pleasant, nice, caring, respectful women, and a large chunk of men just go, what's the point? So I think it is one of the 3 major contributing factors. That's something we have to wrestle with, and it's something we have to wrestle with as a culture and a society, and women do. God forbid you bring and mention that. If you do, you're a psycho, misogynistic psychopath and perpetuating further violence towards women. I mean, it's crazy. Like, just go and check out the comments in my video on the adolescence video. But this is where I want balance to come in. And for guys, my message to guys is, I actually think we have to cut them some slack, because they've also been under attack. Women and femininity has also been under attack. We talk on this side of the internet so much about the attack on masculinity. Yes, it's been an attack on masculinity, but I think there's been a massive attack on femininity, and maybe that is the major attack, and it's a consequence of that is the attack on us men. I watched a great video on Legion of Men's channel. Go check him out. I'll probably leave a link in the description of that video. And it was a video on one of his private calls that he did, and this guy started talking about, this is all attack on femininity, not masculinity. And he actually said like 50% of women are transgender. And initially when you hear this, you go, what's he talking about? And he made sense. And like I said, I recommend go check out the video, but I tried some of it up, and it's like, this is why there's this whole gender, attack on gender, and gender dysphoria, and transgender this and everything else. Because what is gender? We've understood what gender is. We know what sex is. You're born with your sex, right? Your sex is your sex, your chromosomes, and a woman can give birth or not, right? But as a female, as you're born as a female. But a woman and a man, masculinity and femininity, that's your gender. You have to become a woman. If you're born female, you have to become a woman as you age. You have to learn how to be a woman. You have to learn how to be feminine. Same as a man. You have to become a man. You're born male, but you have to become a man. You have to earn your masculinity. And you have to know how to be masculine and be feminine and so on. And we've known how to do that for thousands and thousands of years. Right? Without being able to write probably like a really obvious, distinctive description about what those things are, we kind of just knew it intuitively. But the attack on femininity has been for women to become more masculine. This is why I said like at least 50% of women, they're transgender women, because they're born female, but they're being told, they're being programmed and brainwashed to become masculine, to get out into the world, to become providers themselves, to earn their own money, to be boss bitches, to wear the trousers, to be aggressive, to be independent, and all of this. And that attack on femininity has led to just so many undesirable females, undesirable women in the world that just, they're not worth it. The juice doesn't become the squeeze. I thought it was very interesting. And when you understand this stuff, you can accept it and see it for what it is, the bigger picture. You go past the red pill rage phase. spoken about the red pill rage phase. You go past a lot of that, and you go beyond hatred of women. A lot of guys in the red pill, when they initially come in, they hate women because of how they've been burned and how they've been treated. But if you can actually see that they're also under attack, they're programmed, man, what chance do they have? They're brainwashed. The feminist propaganda hits them everywhere you look, everywhere they look. The hive mind, they're so hive mind orientated. They hardly stand, the Western woman hardly stands a chance. So we shouldn't hate them. Absolutely not. We should have a little bit of understanding, sympathy, some forgiveness. And the solution is obvious, whether it's going to work or not. We have to awaken, we have to enlighten, we have to enlighten our fellow men to what's going on in the war on us and women, and we have to try to enlighten women. Now, the latter is the hard part. Because you mention what I've said here in this video, they'll come after you. You'll be attacked. But if you harbor hopes of the ship turning back to better shores, you've got to be up for that. Those conversations, you've got to be up for that. You'll be willing to be labeled the worst of humanity just for pointing this stuff out. I am. I enjoy it. I enjoy making these videos and having those conversations. And I do what I can over here. And I hope you do too. And I would love you to join me, you know, well, inside of the community, inside of my community we got in, which will be linked in the comments. We have these conversations regularly, discussions, looking at bigger picture stuff, how we can change discourse, how we can create better relationships, how we can hold ourselves and others to higher standards and everything else, because it's tough to do alone. And if you are struggling to find any like-minded guys, and this message resonates with you, you'll find like-minded guys in that community. So if that sounds interesting to you, links in the description, check that out. Otherwise, yeah, like and subscribe as well, of course. That massively helps me if you're new. I appreciate it. And I'll be reading the comments. I'll be replying back to you.